Guys, finally,
it's about to go down.
See, Eric Sekou has released the provisional squad list for the Super Eagles of Nigeria as they prepare for the World Cup 2026 qualifiers. And before we begin today's show, Seram has a presentation for all of us. Seram, take us away.
Super Eagles.
No one be like you.
As they have been
In the places, as in many faces, no one be like you.
No one like you.
One like you. One.
So guys, let me know what you think about the presentation down below in the comments. My name is Adam. I'm a Ghanaian. I'm here with Chanana and also Seram. Please tell them your Nigerian names.
I'm Chinedu in the building.
And I'm a Buka, as simple as that.
Adam is a Nigerian name, but still I like the Mecca, so I'm just going to add it to it. So guys, in today's video, we want to talk about the strongest lineup Eric Sekou can use out of the provisional squad list that has been presented. I've already talked about the squad, but as I said, the good news is that players we thought that were injured, the likes of Onyedika, the likes of William Trostekon, are playing for their club side. So we want to take a look at the strongest lineup Eric Sekou can use against the teams that are going to play in the World Cup qualifiers, Zimbabwe and also Rwanda. Before we jump into it, so don't forget to like, subscribe, and also turn on notification. Quickly, let's jump into it. Guys, the squad list is out. First of all, 1 minute. What do you make of the squad list?
For me, I think 80% to 85% of the predictions we made are clear. They are there for everyone to see that. Yeah, meaning we have been following the Nigerians a lot, so we know what they are about. So with Eric Sekou, that tells you that he's going in for experience and he's sticking with the old guns. I think I've seen a few young ones here and there, especially those local players. And the only surprise would be him calling back Ahmed Musa in the squad. But Evergreen, Senior Dada is always there. So let's see what they will do for us.
Sarah, the squad.
With this provisional squad list, I won't lie, it is very, very, very good. I mean, as my brother said, 85 to 90% of the squad we put out the other time have been mentioned here. And then that's a very, very good news for the Nigerian national team. So I see the squad coming in, playing well, and qualifying for the World Cup.
Okay, so guys, don't forget, this is a provisional squad list. I believe that the final squad list will be named few days to the World Cup qualifiers. Now, let's talk about our strongest starting lineup Eric Sekou is going to use, and also players who could also come in maybe as substitute or as replacement for our strongest starting lineup. So guys, quickly, let's start with the goalkeeping department. For me, I know Stanley Nwabali is the first choice goalkeeper. Yeah. What do you have to say about that, and who do you believe would be a possible replacement or substitute to Stanley Nwabali in the team?
I think for Stanley Nwabali, for now, he's the number one disputed tasker. The only person who can shake him is that guy who is refusing to play for the Nigerian national team. The Noah guy.
Noah.
The Noah guy.
Noah in the
yeah, Noah in the ark.
He doesn't want to bring that
to Nigeria.
Noah in the ark. Apart from that guy, I think there's is Nwabali and maybe the Amas Obasugi, the one who is at Sindiga, is the one who can. But for my first choice, I'll go for Nwabali. Still Nwabali in the post.
So Okoye is actually recovering from an injury. As to whether he makes the final squad or not, I mean,
so Okoye is unavailable. They know they see him.
So guys, he's unavailable, as they said. And we just hope that he recovers in time. But then he's part of the provisional squad list. And these are goalkeepers we believe might come in the final squad list and also be part of Nigeria's strongest starting lineup. Let's talk about the centre-backs. William Trostekon, he wasn't playing some few games for his club side. In fact, the last game he played before first match was on the 14th of February. Now, he featured for his club side on the 1st of March, which is good for Nigeria. I'm really excited about it. He's few of those players that maybe after this particular World Cup will decide to retire for me. So I believe that they are taking it very, very serious. Now, which player do you see, sitting back to replace maybe William Trostekon as a substitute or also to be part of the final squad?
Okay, so right now I see one guy who is named Obu.
Yes. Slava Prague.
Exactly. Yeah. But you see, with William Trostekon, he's the best number 4 for the Super Eagles team now. And then looking at the form he's keeping up, not a lot of youngsters can keep up with that form and then try and then compete with that position with him. But I see Obu coming in and then also doing a bit of work that Trostekon does for the Super Eagles national team.
All right. So, guys, you have heard from Serum. Let me know what you think about it down below in the comments. Still sticking to the centre backs, I want us to talk about the left centre back. We just talked about William Trostekon, right centre back. So, let's talk about left centre back. Calvin Bassey, very good player by our standard. Definitely, he makes the strongest lineup for me. But then we are also considering players who might be coming from the bench as substitute or possible replacement. So who do you think comes in as possible replacement for Calvin Bassey?
I think Osho of AJ Oxlade is going to do a fantastic job. And maybe I can come here with a bold statement that maybe Osho can start depending on what will happen at Nigerian's left back.
Yeah.
Because we all know Calvin Bassey can play at the left back. So when Calvin is moved to the left back, then I see Osho starting. But if Bassey is starting there, then maybe Osho will sit down and steady him. We hope Osho will be fit. Bassey will be fit and play all the games. But if anything's happening, football there, sometimes you can't tell what can happen, injury or other stuff. So but having Osho as a replacement or a standing player for Bassey, I think it's almost the same quality and we should not take anything away from the team.
Okay, so guys, you have heard from Chanana. Let me know your thoughts about it down below in the comments. I won't be surprised if we see some local players from the Nigeria Football Premier League in this particular squad, the final squad list. I won't be surprised, especially in the centre-back department. Now, let's talk about the fullbacks. And I want to begin with the right backs. Olaina starts in the strongest starting lineup. But then who comes on as a substitute or a possible replacement in case something happens? Sarah?
You see, with this, as we are talking about the strongest lineup, you see the players that are starting for the Super Eagles.
Yeah.
So someone like Ola Aina, the performance they are putting up this season, it is very difficult, or we don't see a lot of Nigerian youngsters putting up performances that match what they are doing. But with Ola Aina's situation, I see Osayi Samuel coming in as a possible replacement.
Or maybe as a substitute.
As a substitute for Ola Aina. Like if you are forming a strong lineup for the Nigeria Super Eagles team. So if Ola Aina isn't available, I see Osayi Samuel taking up his position and then playing it and then doing justice.
It's possible these two players would be in the final squad list. So guys, let's know what you think about it. Join the convo down below in the comments. Now let's move on to the left back. Bruno Onyemichi. Player who moved from Boavista to Olympiacos. Very good player by our standard. And I believe he makes the final squad list. Chanana, talk to me about this player and also who might replace him or come in as a substitute.
See, what I was saying, see Onyemichi. Onyemichi is doing very, very well. But the problem is most of his competitors are injured. The Zedu guy who plays for FC Porto is injured. That's why I was saying that if Bassey, the coach sees it fit to shift Bassey to the left side, then Osho will come in there. But after that, I think Onyemichi will going to do very, very well at the left back position. And we know Bassey, he can also play there, so I'm sure he's going to help him, even there's a bit of difficulty and all that time. So I don't think there's a problem with Onyemichi occupying that position at all. Since he has Bassey by his side there, then everything is settled.
All right, so guys, you have heard from Chanada, and the reason why we are going with the fullback is because of Eric Sakushel. If you followed Mali in the AFCON, they normally play the fullback system, so we are going with the fullback system. Now let's talk about the midfield. Wilfred Ndidi, definitely he makes the squad for me because of one, experience, two, what he has done with the team and the relationship he has with other players in the team. Who do you think comes in as a substitute or possible replacement in case something happens?
Indeed, I think it's only one player who comes to mind. That is Oyedeka. Because he has been doing fabulously well for Club Brugge this season. We all saw his performance in the Champions League against Atlanta. Home and away, marvelous. And he was a bit injured. When he gave us a scare, that was their league game against Standard Liège. But luckily in the Champions League against Aston Villa, he was playing, he started, so that tells you that he's fully fit. And this player is going to give Ndidi a fierce competition, so you need to be careful. Even a coach who like controversy will start this player ahead of Ndidi, because this season he has proven that because he plays in the Champions League, so that tells you that nothing can shake him. A
player that was injured and within few days he's back.
That should tell you that. Yeah, so with this form playing in the Champions League, and we want to see how things are going for Leicester. So Ndidi should be very, very careful with his performance. Otherwise, this player is going to take the starting role for him, but I see he needs starting because of his experience in the national team. So, but for me, I think Oyedeka is the only one who can give him a fierce competition at the number 6.
So, guys, you can join in the convo and let us know if we have missed any player who you believe can play in that defensive midfield role. There are other players from the local league, the likes of Papa Mustafa Daniels. We have Anthony Dennis. These players are likely to make the squad, but we are talking about players we believe are going to make the squad. Now let's talk about the other midfield role, which is the number 8.
it could either be a double pivot or a box-to-box role, depending on what the coach wants to go for. So for me, Dele Bashiru comes in for me because depending on what the coach wants to play, this is the player that can play both roles. Whether a double pivot or a box-to-box, he can do it for you. Lazio player, he got an injury scare, but from what we hear, he's going to be fit in time to represent for Nigeria. So he's part of the strongest lineup. Seram, talk to me about possible substitutes or replacement for this player.
Okay, so with possible substitute for a player like Dele Bashiru, we have Onyeka of Uzbek. And then looking at what he's doing this season for Uzbek in the German Bundesliga, he's playing really well. So I think if you are looking for a possible substitute for Dele Bashiru for that number 8 role, I think it should be Onyeka. There's also another player, Alassane Youssef, who plays in the MLS. I mean, their season just started. So with that guy, you can't really rely on him like that because the season just started and then they played about 1 or 2 games. Oh, but preseason, we don't consider preseason like that.
Preseason games are normally warm-ups.
Warm-ups, you see, they don't really put in their all and then they are full tactics. So I see Onyeka coming in as a possible substitute for Dele Bashiru to help the Super Eagles national team.
For me too, I want to add Christian Uche of Getafe. I believe he comes in and plays similar role to what Dele Bashiru is doing. So I won't be surprised if he makes the final squad list because you go on social media, a lot of people are mentioning his name for his performance this season in the Spanish La Liga. Now let's move away from that and talk about the attacking midfield. Alex Iwobi is in that strongest starting lineup for me. But as we are discussing, possible replacement, possible substitutes, or players who are likely to make the final squad in the same position, who do you think comes in to help, it will be in that particular position?
I think Joe Aribo. Joe Aribo is like an everlasting player. He's been, I think he has been in Nigeria for over 10 years now. He has a lot of experience and other things. So I don't think you have any issue substituting Iwobi. And he's going to follow the coach's instructions because he has worked under so many coaches. And so when things are not going well for Iwobi and you bring Joe Aribo, I think he can follow the instructions because he knows what the coach wants him to come and do. Because if you are taking Iwobi out, because now Iwobi is one of the most informed Nigeria players. So if you are taking him out and bring another player, that tells you that that player will also know what he has to do. That's why the coach is trusting him to come and take Iwobi's position. So I think Joe Aribo there is going to do well for Iwobi. If Iwobi is not there, then Joe Aribo can do well because he has played the Nigerian national team for over 10 years now and he's not new to the system.
So guys, moving away from the midfielders, let's talk about the forwards. We want to begin with the left wingers. Definitely Lookman comes in as a player who would be on Nigeria's strongest starting lineup. But then let's talk about possible players who could come in as substitutes or also replacement for Lookman in that particular left wing position. Guys, talk to me about this particular position.
Okay, so with the left wing position, as I said earlier, if you are talking on form, Lookman is definitely starting ahead of everybody. But it's not only him. There are other players who can also, come in and then play that position very well. So with Lookman's position, I see Nathan Teller or Bayer Leverkusen also coming in and doing justice to that left wing position. And then I see Mosin Simon. Titi Botai. Old rock. It translates old rock. Yes, Mosin Simon. He has done this time without number. So we can see him come to that left wing position to do justice. And I also see one.
Ahmed Musa, very
he's an ancestor.
Yeah, Methuselah. He has refused
to grow. Ancestor.
So I also see Ahmed Musa coming in that position and doing justice.
So you agree that Ahmed Musa should come in?
Why shouldn't he? See, I like that player so much. One of his best games that I've ever watched was the match against Argentina.
At the World Cup,
the performance he put up.
That game he scored 2 goals.
We also have a world best in Nigeria. Yeah.
So guys, let me know what you think about it. The left wing position, controversial. Ahmed Musa is there. For me, a lot of people are talking about age. For me, age is just a number, guys. Age is just a number. Now let's talk about right wingers. For me, right wingers, it could be anyone. Nigeria's right wing, there's a question mark there. Players play there and do not perform to satisfaction for me. Kelechi performs there. I don't really like it. Samuel Chukwu is there. I don't really like it. Even Victor Boniface, sometimes I'm not feeling it. Chanana, talk to me about this position. Which player you feel starts in the squad and possible replacement or substitute who are likely to make the final squad?
You see, for this position, you see Chukwueze, this is his favorite position, whether you like it or not. But Boniface is a natural goal scorer, but can also play there. So depending on what the coach wants on the field of play, you can go with Boniface, hoping for him to have a better game. Because we see Boniface play for Bayer Leverkusen and play across the front three. But we know Boniface would normally like to play at the number 9, but we know last killer, serial killer, is at the number 9 position. So he will be shifted, and he can't go to where Lukman is. So the only place for him to go is where Chukwueze and others are, because their performance have not been consistent. So he can take a claim there. But apart from Boniface, I think there's Chukwueze and Murphy, and we know Chukwueze's performance is very secure, very swift, can take on players 1-2, and can give nice passes and other stuff. But the only thing is not consistent with his performance, and it doesn't help defensively too. And Murphy too, we see for OJ Nice, he has done a marvelous job this season, playing well. So that this one, if I won't lie, to be on the coach's discretion, especially when it comes to Chukwueze and Murphy, who the coach feels that can give more to the team, that's what the coach will go for. So I think with this position there, the 3 players can get the start at any time.
Yeah, with this position, it's not a conk position for anyone. With the right wing, it could even be any player, even a left winger who is right-footed can come in and play that position. Now let's talk about centre forward. We can go through that list the whole day and will not stop.
Thank you.
And I feel like that position is limited to few players. First of all, Victor Osimhen is the first name on that list.
He has bought it.
Yes, if you are talking about strongest starting lineup, a centre forward, you don't add Victor Osimhen, it is not strong anymore. So at this point, I feel like Victor Osimhen is that guy who starts as centre forward. But then, in case of injuries or in case of possible substitution, who comes in and which player makes the final squad? Guys, let's talk about this.
You see, with the number 9 position and with Victor Osimhen there, and looking at the talent Nigeria has in that position, there's only one thing that comes to mind. Joy is coming. I see
Joy is coming.
Oluwa. Joy is coming. You see, so with this position, I mean, you can't argue about this. The whole wide world, the whole universe, even adding the other planets together, nobody comes close to this man. Victor Ikechukwu Osimhen.
Victor Kofi Osimhen.
See, so you see with the number 9 rule, and not only for the Nigerian national team, if Victor Osimhen goes to any other national team in this world, he will start as a number 9.
For that one, no, not to waste about that.
Yes, he will start as a number 9. But you see, as football is unpredictable.
There are substitutions.
There are substitutions. There is fatigue. There are injuries. So there are other players who can come in. Their performance wouldn't match up that of Victor Osimhen, like in my opinion. But I mean, they can also come and then do justice to that position. So we have one guy here called Deses who plays for Rangers.
Cyril Deses.
He's doing a very fantastic job with Rangers this season. Yeah. I mean,
he has played the Super Eagles before, though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I see Deses coming in, and then if in case Victor Osimhen gets injured or he gets tired, he comes in and then also do the work or do justice to that position. And I see one guy, Aroko Dari, who plays for Genk. I see him also coming in and then doing something there. But my man, Victor Osimhen, joy has come.
what about other players that are playing very well? So we have other players that can play that similar role. Umar, Sidi, Paul Onuachu. I mean, the list goes on. What do you make of those players who are part of the provisional squad?
Those players are good though, but my friend here is going for these 2 players because they are the ones currently in form. You see, and sometimes when it comes to situations like this, you prefer the player who is on form because you don't know. Maybe fine, those old guys can do a good job, but sometimes can you bank on them, or can you put your hopes on someone who this has not been doing well to come and do a good job for you? It will be 50-50. But when you go for someone who is on form, you are guaranteed you are at least 80% sure that he's going to come and bring the same form to your team. So I think with those players, 1 or 2 can get a call up in. But I think these 3 forwards that my partner in crime has mentioned, one will start and the rest maybe will sit down and study him. Maybe depending on what goes on in the game, the coach can bring any of them to the field. But I think those 3 they are the conk.
I mean, sometimes your bench is as good as your team when you want them to win something or qualify for a certain competition or tournament. In Nigeria at this point, they really need their big guns, players who are performing very well for club side, also to come into the national team and also do well. So guys, for us, this is us taking or going through the provisional squad list, taking a look at players who make the strongest starting lineup and also their possible substitutes or replacements. So we are mainly talking about those who make the final squad. That's what we are talking about. So guys, let us know and also hear from you what you think about what we discussed, joining in the convo. But before we leave, guys, with this provisional squad list, do you think Nigeria goes through this particular World Cup qualifiers against Zimbabwe and Rwanda and beat both countries?
Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe, we studied them in history. I mean, ancient times, ancient history. So Zimbabwe, Nigeria should throw them somewhere. We massacre them and then qualify for the the World Cup. Yes, massacre them. I see Nigeria going through.
I mean, currently they have 3 points out of 4 games. They need to win the rest of their games. And Rwanda, okay, just to say this, Rwanda, during the qualifiers, it wasn't easy for Nigeria against Rwanda. Even in the World Cup qualifiers, still. Rwanda is like a very stubborn team against Nigeria.
One thing Nigeria should bear in mind is that Rwanda, they do tourism. DS is tourism. No, leave it to them. Like Rwanda, Zimbabwe, they are not footballing nations.
You say they should visit Rwanda.
Yeah, visit Rwanda. Visit Rwanda. Yeah, what visit Rwanda in football? What do they have in common? And so these nations are not footballing nations. Like factually speaking, they are not footballing. So Nigeria should be able to walk over them and then qualify.
For me, football does not work like 1+1. Football is quite different. If you underestimate your opponent, they really punish you. Chanana, talk to me about this. Nigeria qualifies.
Qualifiers. All Nigerians want to say puff farm, then more farm, and then puff farm, pass out. That's all. These people. That's how Nigerians do today. They they don't have any excuse to give. We won't tolerate any draw or something. It's just 6 points. I think it's 2 games, right? So we are just taking the 6 points, doing it something with the 6 points, added to our 3 and get 9.
Honestly, if Nigeria gets that 6 points, it changes the dynamic
of the group because they are just behind by 3 points. So with 6 points, and they'll be hoping for the 2 people who are leading them to also fumble because we know those 2 people will also win all their matches.
Yeah.
So
I don't see the lives of Rwanda winning all their matches. Benin be ahead of
Nigeria.
So the only thing is Nigeria should take the opportunity when the need arises. They should that's why they should just puff them out.
Then pass them out.
So if they pop those teams, they pass it to Ghana.
So guys, you have heard from the boys. Let me know your thoughts about it down below in the comments. Looking at this squad list, Charlie, I did pity the other squad. For pity the other squad, honestly. So guys, we'll make sure to see you in the next one. My name is Adam. I'll make sure to see you in the next one. Charlie, we go vibe.